Welcome to my space and thoughts on all things adventure. When you see a red background, you know we're going to have it fire. It's going to be exciting. I want us to just come into my mind for a bit and travel back to some time in 2015 in March. We had a trip. I told you guys in my other video, I sing with a group called Shofar, and we had a ministry in Uganda at a church called Mount Olives. And yeah, so we got on a bus, easiest way to get to Uganda, more affordable rather. Got on a bus. First of all, if you've been to Uganda, the bus trip is long, very long. So we got a whole bus for ourselves, took the bus from from town, all the way to the Busia border. The Busia border, crossed the border from there, and oh my word, Uganda is beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Got to the border very, very early. Very early in the morning, like early hours of, I think it was either 11 p.m. or 1 a.m., somewhere around that time. But by the time you're waking up to like the sunrise, you find yourselves in the middle of the forest with the beautiful hills. It was just amazing. And then you have to go through, we are going to Kampala. Mount Olives is in Kampala. So you have to go through Jinja. And on your way there, there's this beautiful bridge that, but okay, the bridge wasn't there then. Let me not say the bridge wasn't there in 2015, but there's a place where you cross the beautiful Nile. It's called Victoria Nile, and I think it was my first time to see up close hydroelectric power stations. There's some, as in, it was just so beautiful. Sometimes it's even hard to put the words out. So you pass the power stations, go through River Nile, cross through Jinja. You pass there. My first time to see policemen wearing white uniforms. I don't know why it was very hilarious, but it was, because I was wondering what kind of council are these. Kumbe it is. They are police officers. They are wearing white uniforms to the hustle and the bustle of everything. The borders are a lot in that place. A lot. Like more than I'd ever seen here in Nairobi. So we also passed through on the way to town. Their national stadium. Their national stadium is called the Mandela National Stadium. It looks somewhat like Nyayo Stadium. That's what I thought, if I'm not wrong, but that's what it looks like. So we passed through that, went all the way to my friend's house, and then I got there and parked. And for me, usually on a trip, immediately I land. It is to just freshen up and I'm out. I always say sleeping is for when you're traveling, resting is for when you're not alive. I'm always on the go when I'm traveling. Those who have traveled with me know. So immediately that day, we went with my friend Jerry. We got on borders and decided to go to explore the town. So we decided to go to the Gaddafi Mosque. This is the biggest mosque they have here. Very beautiful. It is, the build of it is just amazing. I really love how that mosque was built. Unfortunately, we could not go in because we were wearing trousers and never had either a dera or less, or something to just tie around to get in, because they say your dress code has to be as a woman dresses as you go in there. So that's, I think, a trip for next time when I go back to Uganda. So that one backfired, and we decided then to go to the parliament of the Uganda Kingdom. So took our borders from it. But there, we were so bored of that story. Took our borders from there, from the mosque, from the Gaddafi Mosque, which I think the name changed to, I don't know if the name changed, but it should be still called, I think it changed from Gaddafi to something else. So from there, we went to their parliament. So in Uganda, there's two parliaments. There's the Kabaka parliament, and there's the parliament like for the president, like, and his peeps. So we went to see the Kabaka, the Uganda Lukiko. Lukiko is another word for parliament. Now, how can I explain? So are you seeing my hands? So let's say this is where Kabaka's palace is. On this other side, you have the parliament. So it's called, between here and here, it's called a royal mile. Like it's literally 1 mile from the palace to the, what is it called? To the Lukiko, to the parliament. Now from there, we got to the gate, got off our bikes. For me, I always have my camera. Always when I travel, I always have to have one kind of camera, not a phone, maybe a GoPro or my DSLR. That time I had my DSLR. So got off the borders with Njeri, went in, got our tour guide. At least they allowed us to enter the way we are. Got a tour guide who took us in. The first thing you see when you get there is a really, really huge statue of Kabaka. The Kabaka who's sitting now is called Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II. He's the current king of the Buganda kingdom. And so there's that monument or statue of him. That's the first thing you meet at the entrance. And oh my, it does look exactly like him. And then once you get in, just before you get in, on the walls, there are carved images of the totems of the different clans that they have. These totems were on the walls, on the doors inside, and also inside in the parliament. Like, for example, you'd see an image of a monkey or a dog or a crocodile or a crane, different animals just representing the different clans that they have in in the Buganda kingdom. So we saw the whole place, went in, we saw where Kabaka's chair sits. If you Google the Kabaka's parliament, it's just easier to put there, you'll see how it looks so amazing. Beautiful people all dressed in their traditional regalia. Like I really love when Africans wear their African wear. that made sense, didn't you? So we finished up with that, had a tour, we were shown. His photo was there because there was no session, there was no parliament happening at the time. There was no sitting. So we walked around with the other students who were there. When we finished, we headed out to the reception area with our tour guide and Jerry. So when he's busy explaining for us, blah, 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 this, and this, I don't remember what he was saying. Then he mentions that person coming down the stairs is Prince Wasajja. I was like the prince, he's like, yes, that's the son of the king. I'm like, really? He's like, can we say hi? He's like, I don't know, because they are very respectful in in Uganda. You just can't go up and talk to royalty like that. But me, I was like, who am I? When the Lord gives you a chance, you better take it. So immediately, when I saw him, he was coming down the stairs, I think headed out. So I just walked up politely to him and said, excuse me, hello, how are you? Introduced myself. And then I was like, you know what? Could I please get a photo with you if possible? And I think that guy almost fainted because number one, women there, their culture is they kneel down. They kneel down to men. It could be your father, it could be your uncle, wherever it is. When the women are speaking with the men, they kneel down. So for me, I just said, I'm not about that life. So I just went straight up, said, hi, could I please get a photo with you? And I think he was taken aback, but he was like, yeah, sure, why not? So picked a whole DSLR, put it out, and then just cheese, took the photo, gave the guide, he took the camera as well, was able to take a photo of the two of us. I was so excited. Oh my, I met royalty. I've never been that. I was like, this could be my chance to shine and be like, I've met royalty. I was about to ask, can I have your number in case I need to? I didn't want to push it that far. But it was, I think, the most exciting time, like exciting and welcome to Uganda, because I've been to Uganda a number of times. I was just like, this is it. So he just said hi, chatted for about a minute or two. I think he had to rush off, but he was a handsome guy. He is a handsome guy, Prince Wasajja. If you get to see this video, hey, How are you? Remember me? I wonder if anybody else has ever done that to him. So yeah, that was that. We took the photo, and that was the end of me meeting the prince. I have been hoping once to meet him again. And I have a friend who is related to the royal family, so I hope that I'll be able to meet him at least face to face and not in a hurry, in a calm environment, and be able to talk. So that was the story of how I got to meet the Prince Wasajja from the Buganda kingdom while we were in the parliament in Buganda parliament in Kampala. It was the most, I don't know, I get super excited. I don't know about you, just meeting people who you never thought you'd just meet randomly. So that's the story of how I met the Kabaka, not Kabaka, Baka's son, Prince Wasajja. It was such an awesome time for me. So after that, we left there and then went through the Royal Mile, we went to the palace, but that story is for another time because that was a whole other thing. The experience there was very emotional because of the stories you hear of what happened there. But I think I'd have to do a part 2 of what happened when we went across the Royal Mile and even explain exactly what that Royal Mile looks like. Those who are in Kampala know exactly where it is. I hear even when Kabaka passes, people will stop and they'll like kneel down or they'll just stop what they're doing to show reverence to him. And they really, really, really respect their king, those sides. They respect him as much, if not more, as a president. So yeah, that was the story of how I got to meet Prince Wasajja, and part 2 of it will come up of how of what we experienced when we went across to the other side to learn about the history of the colonialism when it was there and what happened. Such a touching story, and I think for this one, let me just leave it at that. But thank you so much. Thank you for staying on here. If you like this kind of content, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and share with all your friends. Bye.